Hey, Eagles fans! The atmosphere behind the scenes in Philadelphia is heating up as we approach the 2026 NFL Draft, and there are strong indications of how the Eagles are preparing to attack this crucial moment. And everything points to Howie Roseman once again being aggressive, strategic, and perhaps even a little unpredictable with his 9 picks. And if you've been following this team long enough, you already know. When Howie has this kind of flexibility, something big usually happens. But before we delve deeper, make sure you've already clicked the like button, and if you believe in Howie's work, write in the comments, "Let's win." Now let's get straight into what really matters. There's a 3-step draft plan quietly forming inside the Eagles organization, and the first major question is one that could shake the entire roster. Are the Eagles preparing to draft a wide receiver early? Because if they do, that decision could signal something much bigger, possibly the departure of A.J. Brown. That's not speculation out of nowhere. The logic is simple. You don't invest a first-round pick in a wide receiver unless you're preparing for a major shift at the position. What's fascinating here is how the organization views DeVonta Smith right now. Internally, there's growing belief that he can operate as a true WR1 with a larger workload. That's not just talk. There's real confidence in his ability, especially considering how underutilized he's been. The team has already added complementary pieces like Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore. But let's be honest, losing A.J. Brown would still leave a massive gap in the offense. So if Philadelphia pulls the trigger on a wide receiver early, it's not just about adding talent, it's about reshaping the identity of the passing game. And there are names to watch. Jordan Tyson is one of the most talked-about prospects linked to the Eagles. He's explosive, dynamic, and has the kind of route-running ability that translates immediately to the NFL. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. His injury history is loaded with red flags, multiple serious injuries, including a torn ACL, MCL, and PCL, a broken collarbone, and recurring soft tissue issues. This is the definition of a boom or bust player. If he stays healthy, you might be looking at a future star. If not, it could backfire quickly. Still, this is exactly the kind of calculated risk Howie Roseman has taken before. He's known for finding value where others hesitate. And if Tyson is still on the board in the late teens or early 20s, don't be surprised if the Eagles make a move to go get him. That's another key layer here. Philadelphia is expected to be active in trade scenarios, both moving up and down the board to maximize value and build future assets. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Despite all this talk about wide receivers, the foundation of this team still comes down to the trenches. ESPN's insight makes it clear. The Eagles' long-term success has been built on dominance in the offensive and defensive lines, and that philosophy isn't changing anytime soon. In fact, it might become even more important this year. Why? Because there are real concerns about the offensive line. Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson have both dealt with injuries and even considered retirement. That's not something you can ignore. If this unit regresses or struggles to stay healthy, it won't just affect one part of the offense. It will impact everything. The run game, the pass protection, the effectiveness of the new offensive adjustments under Nick Sirianni, all of it depends on that line holding strong. On the flip side, if the offensive line returns to form, if Dickerson dominates again, if Cam Jurgens steps up at center, this team has the potential to be a serious Super Bowl contender. That's how thin the margin is. And that's why there's a strong expectation that the Eagles will continue investing in offensive linemen early in the draft. There are several prospects being evaluated, but one name that's starting to gain serious traction is Max Ehanacore out of Arizona State. He's raw, relatively new to football, but his physical traits are off the charts. Some inside evaluations even suggest he could be the best offensive tackle in this entire class. And if the Eagles see him as a future replacement for Lane Johnson, taking him at 23 could be a move that defines the next decade of this franchise. So now you're starting to see the full picture. This isn't just about picking the best player available. This is about balancing immediate needs with long-term planning. It's about preparing for possible roster changes, reinforcing the team's core identity, and staying aggressive enough to capitalize on opportunities when they appear. And with Howie Roseman in control, you can almost guarantee that something unexpected is coming. Whether it's a bold trade, a surprising pick, or a move that signals a major shift in the roster, the Eagles are not going to sit back and play it safe. So let me ask you this, Eagles Nation, if you had to choose, would you rather see the Eagles go all in on a wide receiver early, even if it means preparing for life without A.J. Brown? Or should they stay true to their identity and prioritize the offensive line to keep this team built for long-term dominance? Let's go, Eagles! And now things start to get even more intense, because the third part of this potential draft plan might be the one that defines everything the Eagles do on draft night. We're talking about Howie Roseman possibly making a bold move up the board. And if you've followed this front office over the years, you already know this is where things can get unpredictable very fast. There's real belief around the league that Philadelphia is one of the teams most likely to trade up in the 2026 NFL Draft, and not just for any position, but specifically for a wide receiver. That brings us right back to Jordan Tyson, a name that keeps gaining traction as a potential target if he's still available somewhere between picks 17 and 20. If he starts to slide, the Eagles could see that as an opportunity they simply can't pass up. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Howie Roseman has built a reputation for drafting replacements before they become urgent needs. We've seen this pattern before. He stays one step ahead, planning for the future while still competing in the present. So if the Eagles view Tyson as a top 15 talent, even with the injury concerns, it would not be surprising at all to see them get aggressive and go up to secure him. But let's really break this down, because this decision wouldn't just be about talent, it would be about risk tolerance. Tyson's production when healthy speaks for itself. In 2024, he put up 75 receptions for 2,100 yards and 10 touchdowns in 12 games, helping his team reach the college football playoff. Even in a limited 2025 season, he still managed 61 catches for 701 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's high-level output. On tape, he shows everything you want in a modern NFL receiver. He creates separation, he can win contested catches, and he has the versatility to line up inside or outside. There are even comparisons to Stefon Diggs because of his route-running ability and body control at the catch point. That's not a small comparison. That's elite-level upside. But again, the injuries are impossible to ignore. This is a player who has never completed a full college season. Knee injuries, collarbone, hamstring, ankle. It's a long list. And when you're talking about investing a first-round pick, possibly even trading up to do it, you're betting that those issues are behind him. That's a gamble, no matter how you look at it. Now here's the bigger picture. If the Eagles do make that move, it tells you everything about how they view this roster going forward. It could mean they're preparing for a future without A.J. Brown. It could mean they believe DeVonta Smith is ready to fully step into that WR1 role. Or it could simply mean they see a rare opportunity to add elite talent and are willing to take the risk. At the same time, you can't ignore what this might cost them. Trading up means giving up valuable picks. And with 9 selections available, that flexibility is one of their biggest strengths right now. Howie loves to maneuver, to collect assets, to build depth across the roster. So if he decides to sacrifice some of that flexibility, it's because he truly believes the reward outweighs the risk. And that brings us back to the core identity of this team. Are the Eagles going to stay disciplined and continue building through the trenches? Or are they ready to make a flash move that could redefine the offense? Because those two paths can lead to very different outcomes. One path keeps the foundation strong, protects Jalen Hurts, and maintains the physical dominance that has defined this team's success. The other path adds explosiveness, star power, and potentially prepares the team for a major transition at wide receiver. Neither option is wrong, but choosing between them is what makes this draft so critical. And don't forget, Howie Roseman has consistently found value in the draft. From landing impact players without needing to trade up, to taking calculated risks that paid off, his track record suggests that whatever move he makes, it won't be random. It will be calculated, intentional, and aimed at keeping the Eagles in Super Bowl contention. So as we sit here just days away from the draft, the tension is real. The possibilities are wide open, and the Eagles are once again right in the middle of it all, with a chance to reshape their future in a matter of hours. Now, here's what I want from you. If you're in that draft room, are you pulling the trigger on a risky, high-upside player like Jordan Tyson, or are you staying patient and building through the offensive line to keep this team dominant for years to come? And if you want to stay on top of everything happening with the Eagles, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and don't miss the next video that's on your screen right now. Go Eagles!